Hey guys, I'm back again with The Power of Freedom, my journey through grief. This week I'm going to be explaining what grief is. Grief is defined as deep sorrow, especially in the losing of someone very closely. Grief is also an emotion. We sometimes, when we lose a loved one or a friend, we are angry, we are frustrated, we are all over the place, and we don't know why. Well, that's what grief is. Grief is emotions. Grief is just feeling some type of way because that loved one that we hold so close is now gone, and we don't have an explanation as to why they're not here anymore. What happened, or why did it have to be them and not someone else? Well, grief is that. And as I expressed in my last session, that it's okay to grieve, it's okay to cry, but we just can't stay there. In the Bible, Psalms 23:4 expresses, He is with us even in the valley of the shadows of death. He, meaning God. God is always with us. He never leaves us, nor will He forsake us. He's constantly holding us, even when we feel sad, when we feel weak, when we're crying and we can't stop. He's still with us, even in the shadows of death. Meaning, shadows of death, it could be back to back that we lose a family member, but yet God is still right there. It also says in Matthew 5, where He will comfort us when we feel like we cannot be comforted. Those that's mourning, He will comfort us, comfort our hearts, mend our brokenness, and take what we are holding on so tight to and just wrap us in His arms. Here in my notes, I have the difference between grief and mourning. And grief is constellation of internal thoughts and feelings we have when someone dies. Well, doesn't that explain grief? Do you think that's grief? Because I do. Grief is definitely something that feelings that we hold inside. Mourning is when we take the grief and express it outside ourselves. We went from grief to mourning because now we're feeling the impact of that loved one being gone. We're feeling the memories of not having that loved one anymore, trying to get through the understanding of why they can't be here with us anymore, or what it feels like to not have them here with us each and every day, being able to talk to them and love on them. I just recently went through the loss of my 1-year-old nephew, and it's the hardest thing to go through, in seeing your brother, your sister, and losing a child. And by it being my nephew, it was the hardest thing for me to continue to just push through and be there for them and be strong for them, even in the midst of my grieving and my mourning. But I still made it. And just as I made it, you can too. God will never leave us, nor will He forsake us. He's holding us. He's always with us. Even when we feel at our weakest moments, God is always with us. Never forget that. Never forget that. As I said in my last video, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry, but we just cannot stay there. Grief is deep sorrow. Sometimes we don't know how to control it because it's so deep within. We hold on to that thing for so long until we let go. That's when the peace will come. That's when the joy will begin to reinvent in our lives, because we are letting go of that loved one that we have lost, because we know now that they're in the hands of God. So I just wanted to take this moment just to encourage you all to don't get so lost in why your loved one is gone. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be saddened for a moment, but don't stay there. Let's remember Naomi, that lost her husband and her 2 sons. She also mourned just like we did. She also grieved just like we did, but she didn't stay there. Job, who lost everything, his family, his things, his home, he lost everything. Can you handle losing everything? I can imagine losing a loved one, but to lose everything, from your family to your home to the things that you own to not having nothing, that's a hard hit. So I just want to encourage you, just stay encouraged. Be encouraged and know that God is still with you. God is still holding you. No matter how much it hurt, no matter how much pain you carry, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. You guys be encouraged, and I will see you again the next time. Be blessed. Bye.